Sandwich and Art is a website and blog dedicated to sandwiches and art, and some strange connection between the two. I hope you enjoy. There are some sandwiches you eat because you're hungry, and others you eat because they feel historically necessary. The Muffaletta from Central Grocery in New Orleans belongs to the second category. It is one of those rare foods that arrives with the full weight of place, tradition, and reputation already built into it. To eat one in New Orleans is not just to have lunch. It is to participate in a small but enduring story of migration, survival, and cultural reinvention. The Muffaletta begins with Sicily, but does not stay there. Its name comes from the round Sicilian sesame loaf that gives the sandwich its form. That detail matters because the bread is not just a container. It's the structure that makes the whole thing possible. Inside are layers of salami, ham, mortadella, provolone, and olive salad, pressed together into something dense, briny, generous, and completely recognizable. The sandwich is built through accumulation, but it succeeds through balance. In the photograph, the Muffaletta appears like a cross-section of history. Pale bread, pink cured meats, creamy cheese, chopped olives, and the shine of oil and vinegar. A bag of Zapp's Cajun dill gator taters and a Dixie beer sit nearby, rooting the meal firmly in New Orleans. Nothing about this feels generic. It's a sandwich, but it's also a place portrait. Central Grocery sits on Decatur Street near the French Market, and its origins is inseparable from the Sicilian immigrant history of the city. The store was founded in 1906 by Salvatore Lupo, a Sicilian immigrant who was widely credited with creating the Muffaletta sandwich. The exact personal reason Lupe left Sicily is not especially well documented, but he was part of a larger movement of Sicilian immigrants seeking work, stability, and opportunity. Many settled near the French Market working as grocers, vendors, produce sellers, dock workers, and laborers. This is where the sandwich becomes more than a recipe. The Muffaletta was not born from restaurant theater. It came from the practical world of the market. Sicilian workers were buying bread, meats, cheese, and olives separately for lunch. Lupo's idea was architectural. Gather the meal into the bread. What had been separate became whole. What had been a collection of ingredients became a portable form. That idea of movement from Sicily into the wider world brings to mind another Sicilian episode, much darker but equally powerful, the brief time Caravaggio spent on the island in the final years of his life. After fleeing Malta in 1608, Caravaggio moved through Sicily as a fugitive, working in Syracuse and Messina while his life became increasingly unstable. Like Lupo, Caravaggio's story is also one of displacement, but where Lupo's Sicilian inheritance becomes food, community, and business, Caravaggio's Sicilian passage becomes shadow, burial, resurrection, and fear. Two major works from this period, The Burial of St. Lucy and The Raising of Lazarus, feel almost stripped to the bone. In The Burial of St. Lucy, painted for Syracuse, Caravaggio places the saint's body low in the composition, close to the earth, nearly swallowed by the surrounding space. The grave diggers dominate the scene. Their bodies bend into the labor of burial, making death feel physical, heavy, and immediate. It's not a polished image of sainthood. It's a painting about weight, the weight of the body, the weight of grief, the weight of survival. In The Raising of Lazarus, painted in Messina, Caravaggio turns resurrection into something raw and unsettling. Lazarus does not rise gently into divine light. He is pulled back from death, his body caught between corpse and miracle. The painting is dramatic, but not theatrical in a decorative sense. It feels urgent, almost desperate. Light enters the darkness, but it does not erase it. This is where the Muffaletta and Caravaggio begin to speak to one another. Both stories are about Sicily, but neither contained by Sicily. One travels across the Atlantic through immigrants, markets, bread, olive, and lunch counter. The other moves through churches, exile, violence, and paint. One gives us a sandwich built from abundance and practicality. The other gives us painting built from darkness and revelation. The contrast is what makes the pairing interesting. The Muffaletta is bright, briny, communal, and sustaining. Caravaggio's Sicilian paintings are dark, solitary, and haunted. But both are concerned with the body. The sandwich feeds the body. Caravaggio paints the body under pressure, buried, lifted, handled, restored, mourned. Both depend on material presence. Bread and paint, meat and flesh, olive and shadow, oil in the sandwich, oil on the canvas. Salvatore Lupo's Muffaletta transforms Sicilian ingredients into a New Orleans icon. Caravaggio's Sicilian paintings transforms fear and exile into something of the most psychological, intense images of the Baroque period. One comes from the market, the other comes from the church. One is eaten by hand, the other is encountered in silence. But both are cultural objects shaped by movement, need, and invention. So this photograph is not just a sandwich snapshot. It is a small still life of migration and inheritance. Sesame bread, olive salad, central grocery, the French market, Sicilian labor, New Orleans appetite, and moving through the background, Caravaggio's Sicily, dark, unstable, brilliant, and unforgettable.